Lying is never a high frequency. Even if your intentions are good, that does help, but lying is lying. Why would we ever have to lie? Sometimes we lie to save somebody from having hard feelings, but what is it we're really saying? And why do we need to do that in the first place? There's so many other ways to present the truth. Now, the Wall Street Journal article came out, and it's insane, and you may not even know about it. That's even more insane. We're going to talk about the distractions. I'm going to talk about the three stages that I'm going to take you and my students, this is free stuff, through, that's going to progress you through this game, and you're going to view this stuff going on, which we're going to talk about today, in a totally different light. Are you ready to do that? I think you are. Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through the fears, live an amazing life. I have my spiritual teachings. It helps you to awaken, become empowered, and then we have self-mastery. From there, I realized we are not powerful when we are broke and spiritual. In fact, we think that that's a good thing. To be broke is to be spiritual. More programming, keeps us disempowered in the material world, which the lower frequencies love to control, right? And there's nothing wrong with any of this stuff. It just is. It just is the game we signed up for. So I created digitalexplorers.net for planet conscious entrepreneurs. It's a small percentage of people, but it's powerful, and it doesn't take many for us to change the entire planet. What are we creating for the consumers out there? What are we creating for the people who are either too lazy to make changes or don't know where to start? A lot of times laziness, it's just so convenient to do what is okay with society, so they continue on. Because making a change is a big deal, and we're going to do it. We're going to start doing it today. Now, digitalexplorers.net, if you're entrepreneurial, this is a free webinar. If you've tried online businesses, you probably didn't do well, did you? There's a real good reason. I'm a former investment banker. There are 5 critical reasons for that in this webinar. You can watch it for free and find out. Do you want to take advantage of the internet? I think it's powerful. You do not have to be eliminated, and a lot of you will be eliminated in your jobs, even ones that you never imagined could be eliminated. If it has any thought power at all, if there's any chance that a human can make a mistake in that process, there's a robot who can correct that. So never underestimate what's going to happen in our future, and prepare for it in a way that could be so great for you. What if you went off and did things you never imagined you could do, or like was even possible? Well, we're doing it. No experience necessary. I hope you'll subscribe, because we are controlling the algorithms of the planet and beyond. We're controlling what we dictate to the quantum field and say is what we desire. Right or wrong, it doesn't matter, because it's all the one. You can't judge the one, because the one is the darkness and the light. Now, we like to separate that. No, God is the light, yes, and also the darkness, because without it, there are no tests, no challenges, no adventures, no experiences, and so only humans separate and judge it. At what point between lightness and darkness is it not God? God is all things, source. It creates everything, and you are it. So you are not being created separately. You are the power that creates, the creator, the created, and the experience. And there's no separation between you and I or anything else on this planet, including that blade of grass out there that just got chopped off. Nothing dies. Everything is, always has been, always will be. So fear nothing. Break through it and realize this is an opportunity. Are you taking advantage of it? Or are you telling yourself a story? So we're going to talk about stories today. I've been doing a lot of videos on this because I want to really drive it home that stories change your beliefs and thoughts about the world out there. And thus it is. So just your thought about what that is now, maybe it's disturbing, created that reality. Absolutely, you're living in it. You went down a floor into another frequency. And so you're living in that reality. And that's real. It doesn't have to be real for me, but it does contribute to the collective. So all of us together, of course, if there's some participating, some not, in certain events, the outcome's going to be different. But it doesn't stop you from reaching the penthouse and living up there, even though you know there's a basement, you know there's suffering and struggle and things going on. But we don't sit up there. Somebody said, they disagreed with me, we should fight and protest. And I said, I'm not saying you should not stand up against what you believe is no longer working for us. My suggestion is that those methods don't really work. They fade away, and the corruption and everything has remained. How do we create a new world? We have to create one that has zero tolerance. It tolerates none of that. And so we have to create a world where it's not even possible for somebody to do certain things. Now, lying is a big one. It seems to be the thing to do in government. Anytime you get any group that is in control, abuses will begin. There are people that go, hey, there's a few extra bucks. We can just take money or designate it here to our friends and our colleagues and our buds, and then it keeps going on, and they all cover for each other. It continues on. Well, that's all coming to an end. It's shattering. Why? Because things are being exposed. We have full disclosure, and it's not just about UAPs. It's way beyond that. The full disclosure is about what's going on in our society, in companies, governments, institutions, and that, like my friend who said, let's protest, we're saying it's not okay. Here's what we demand as a public, and come together in peace to create. And it doesn't include that, because we do need to take care of one another. Now, we've talked about what's going on with our immigration issues here. Are there a lot of people here illegally? Yeah. Is it okay? No, they know better. And so, some people are going to suffer the consequences. How it's being handled makes absolutely no sense. So if there was something done peacefully that said, hey, okay, can you show that you have lived a great life here, you've contributed, you've done some good things, you're in the banking systems, whatever it is, okay, let's give you an opportunity to make it right. But that's not what's going on. And so it's not just what you believe and what is right and wrong, it's how you handle it. So this is what I propose, is that we don't go in with, guns a-blazing, with anything, including your opinion on anything. We come in with a solution. How do we change this? So we can't let people in institutions continue to control everything secretly. We have to propose something that doesn't allow secrecy of any kind. And they could say, well, that's not good for our security. Why are we destroying one another in the first place? Why? Why are humans doing that? Why would anybody fight over land? No one owns anything. We can purchase, we have a system in place, that's fine. But if we respect one another, there will not be anything necessary in place that would cause any kind of violence or reaction like that. There will be systems that allow us. Capitalism can be a great thing, it's a high motivator. But how are we handling all these things? So I want you to understand that right now, everything you do is going to count in such a big way in your own life. And it's an opportunity for you to step into something really powerful, because the opportunities for you to be abundant, healthy, and happy have never been greater. Why? Because we know it's real, and we know you can do it, and we know that you hold creative power, and we know that if you get out of your own way, all of that will appear because you now accept it, and you don't have to dictate how or when or what it is. You just open yourself up, and opportunities, things will flow to you like you never imagined. Now I'm relaunching LandriaOnka.com, and I have a free inspiration down in the description. The first thing that we do is awakening. There's 3 phases: awakening, empowerment, and then self-mastery. Why do we need awakening first? Because the intentions behind everything must come from a high frequency. Because empowerment can be used, as is being demonstrated out there. Empowerment can be used on a really low frequency because manifestation doesn't judge, it just creates. It doesn't say, oh, your intentions are bad, no, we're going over here to the person who's praying and loves all people. Nope, doesn't work that way. It has no judgment because it creates everything. And it allows it, not as a controlling factor, but as the one energy that is us that says, I want to experience that. So what you want to do is come in and say, okay, if I want to, master abundance or all these things, and I have to go into awakening. The awakened state doesn't mean that you go into a super, Eckhart Tolle or Dalai Lama kind of state. Awakening just means awareness. You're conscious. You're aware that you are not just this body, that you're the energy field behind it, and that you actually do affect everything around you. You don't even have to describe it or know it or understand it. But awakening is that we are one and that everything holds grave consequences if it's on a lower frequency, and that will come back to you. So when we awaken, we want to choose the highest actions, thoughts, beliefs, and stories. Even those stories about your past, when you choose a higher story about what happened to you, you realize it had meaning in its distortion. Somewhere it holds meaning. Nothing is coincidence or just randomness. And when you see that, and that's what I teach in the first part, when you realize it is not just happening to you, you're participating in it. And when you dig deep into what it was, where it came from, and what you can do with it, you go into an awakened state. And you realize nothing is evil, but it sure can be unpleasant. It sure can feel really bad. But that's part of the journey. That's what we're here to experience. And without that, we'd be sitting around eating bonbons that are melting out on the beach, right? And somebody wiping it up for us the minute chocolate drops. That's not how it works. And you'd be bored out of your brains. I know I would be. What? We love challenges, maybe just not so extreme, and you can control that. So awakening is when the challenges come. You break through the fear and you recognize as a human you're going to have these experiences, that you're going to hear these stories, that you're going to be, wanting to look up the conspiracies and stuff. That's part of the human experience that loves the controversy and the dark side. You will always have an attraction to it on some level while you're here. It helps to shake things up, create the challenges, and it allows you to break through it. Can I master this, right? When you go into this state of awakening, you can go through life and realize that every thought and all of your attentions must place others and the whole first. Because when you do that, you are placing yourself first. Because whatever you put out there is coming back to you. Not just because it doesn't come back. It actually happens immediately. My loving thought about somebody else is a loving thought of myself. Even though I'm focused on that other person, it's me too, because we are one. So when you go into the awakened state, you now go into a state of love and compassion. You want to open up the gateways. There's no judgment there, and it affects the other people. It affects your energy field, and all of a sudden you go into a space where nobody can really do anything wrong. Harmful, painful, doesn't seem right, but we all agreed to participate. I want to just remind you guys, we agreed to this. Everyone is willingly participating, including victims. And I get a whole slew of people that get so upset at that. You don't have to believe what I say. That's free will. But I'm telling you right now, we are not on a prison planet. We are not victims. We are equally powerful, perfect beings. Anything that has been fed to you that is less than that is a control mechanism to keep you disempowered. That's the second stage, empowerment. How do we use that power on the highest frequency? So I'm going to take you through the stages. The last one's self-mastery. We have to master it, but we don't want to start doing that, because if we go into some spaces that could be scary to human beings, like, an orb's in the room, all right? If you have fear or you don't have highest intentions, it's evil, you will go into something completely different that you don't want to. So we want to master awakening first, consciousness. So if you want that free video series, that free inspiration down there, you can go in. I'm going to be launching this whole new series, and it's going to be much more advanced than the last, very organized in its steps. And where, no matter where you are, you can master this. Nothing but misinformation is going to be coming over. Nothing but. And there are those that are sharing their own personal experiences to open the doorways, but there will be all kinds of other things that come along with that. I'm not saying that they're doing. Like Jake Barber, you know, I love him, but you know what? He's still a human being too. He's still seeing things from his own perspective. Major military dude who's killed a lot of people. There's no way he has a clean slate here, okay? Could is he awakened? Yes, absolutely. He went into the awakened state. Thanks to his exposure to this NHI, non-human intelligence, with a UAP, all these new terms, realize that all of that is consciousness. It's not just some craft. It's intelligent. It holds intelligence and consciousness. And that's tough for us because we separate the human form or material forms from intelligence. So when you get past that, when you go into awakening, you understand that everything is intelligent. It has to be to even exist. And it was created at some point by some creator, some part of this one thing. Watch what everything out there is and watch the story you tell yourself about it. This is going to be the critical factor to your advancement or your staying in a destructive, frightening world where you're going to be hoarding and doing some really stupid stuff that will work totally against you, because that message is, I don't have. I'm in fear. And therefore you will live that, and you'll be the first one that gets looted, right? The givers, they don't worry. Even if somebody took their stuff, they'd go, okay, here, take it. I don't need to protect anything. And there'll be others that give to them because they're in that frequency of giving and community, and that's where you'll live. Because we are giving, loving, compassionate, understanding, not approval. You don't have to approve anything. So are you ready to step into that space? And I'm telling you right now, it's going to be nonstop misinformation. Wall Street Journal saying, you know, the Pentagon fed them this. There's some poor writer that had to do that. Probably was like, oh no, please. Like, well, it's you and your family, or, you know, the government. Okay. So they write this article that, that Area 51 was all, all these craft that were seen. They were telling the local people that they were UFOs to cover up that it's us, the wonderful Americans. It's time for us to get that in order. Greatness doesn't lie. Greatness doesn't deceive. Greatness doesn't have to do anything that requires a cover-up. And so when we recognize this and we stop accepting that any of that needs to go on, it doesn't need to go on. It doesn't. There's nothing to protect. There's no secret to protect. If you've got it, doesn't matter if the world knows it. Don't mess with us if that's what they're worried about. Tell the world we got something that'll just, blow the socks off of you if you mess with us. Say it. It's a secret? No, I don't believe that for a minute. So, you can watch all these stories all day long and you will never get the truth. When you focus on your awakening and say, where do I need to go here? Where do I need to go with my thoughts and my efforts? My purchases go in my description. I'm helping people. I've got channels now. We have to stop the play. Do you know you have a whole credit card of plastic in your body? Nothing packaged, nothing processed. You'll be healthier and happier for it. The brain fog's going to go because we're in a brain fog right now. And that's purposeful. Staying ill, fat, brain fog, sick. Did you know ALS? An actor here just got ALS. They said absolutely directly related to toxins. And one of them is, these sprays that they put on lawns. those chemical sprays, weed killers, and it's still allowed. Are you doing it? You using it? Then you're part of the problem that you're complaining about. You gotta be that. You can't say this and be doing this. Sorry. We gotta take responsibility. You ready to do that? I am. I'm looking at everything, guys, saying, okay, what else can I improve on? It's never ending. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. I have an Amazon store with non-toxic, no plastic items, cleaners, foods, all kinds of great stuff. Clean your water. Clean your water. I have relatively inexpensive water filters that you can take with you if you move. You got to start doing this, peeps. I wonder why we get sick. And then a lot of that is the worry. It's an imbalance. Get it in check. Let's go into the awakened state. You ready for that? You're whole. You're perfect. You're perfect. I'm just going to leave it at that. You're perfect. Everything else is a made-up story. Namaste.